balls better than me. You better install this game, because you know what? You can't.
You can't do this. Your mom can't do this. Your whole entire family can't do this.
There's nothing else you can beat me at. I will beat you at juggling balls.
My ball juggling skills are better than anyone else in the world.
Download this game and try to juggle more balls than me, because you can't.
I was fast asleep, deep in dreamland, when my dog Barney woke me up. At first, I ignored him. My eyes stung, and my alarm clock showed me that it was only 3 a.m. It was far too early for anyone to be awake, and yet he was insistent. He wasn't just barking. He was also running back and forth from the door, as if he wanted me to follow him.
I don't know any of those questions, guys. I'm gonna guess around probably 12 o'clock. I don't know.
Prank calls and stuff. So, if we get up to 10 likes, I'll do this again. So, let's get at 10 likes, so this is actually pretty fun. We're gonna prank call, first we're gonna start with people prank calling Pizza Hut and Kentucky. We're starting out with that. Okay, I already called South William, so we're doing the Bartson Town Pizza Hut. Calling that place first. So I hate about this. It's so hard to call them. I try so hard. I don't know why. I just like calling Pizza Hut. Funny. Oh my gosh, my crinkles. Guys, I don't know what the deal is. Silver. If I can't call these people, I don't know what to tell you guys. But trust me. Do you accept V-Bucks as payment?
I'm sorry?
Do you accept V-Bucks as payment?
No, we do not.
Do you accept Robux as payment?
No, we don't. This is a business. Can y'all find a place else to play?
So she got saved. find a different place to prank call. Well, guess what? We want to prank call you. I like prank call that much. I don't feel like doing that today. So, prank call people in Oklahoma. Okay, I did that one. So, let's do this one. Gosh, guys. Phone number. I just need a phone number. All I want. Okay. That's all I want. Application. 405. 555.
Have you ever felt like you were locked into a small cage? That's how I felt all my life growing up. My parents controlled everything I did. They told me how to dress and who to be friends with in school. And of course, I was going to a girls-only school, which meant I had never talked to a single guy other than my dad and my cousin Ralph. One night, me and my dad got into a fight because he didn't allow me to have a sleepover at my classmate's home. My dad was worried about my classmate's brother, who was the same age as me. He thought we would make out and have a baby or something. But I was 17 and so desperate for freedom that night I ran away from home and moved in with my cousin, Tara. My parents had no idea where I was, and a crazy period in my life started. I made a complete 180-degree turnaround and started partying every night. Then I got a big tattoo over my belly, just so I could send a photo of it to my dad to shock him. When he responded back, he called me a disgrace and told me to come back as long as I was a virgin. But I just replied, "Oh, you are so naive, Dad." And then I sent him a photo of me kissing some random guy at a club. I can't describe how much I enjoyed making my dad angry. And I thought very hard about what could be the most extreme thing I could do to shock him. But then I had the perfect idea. I would get 2 holes in my face, one on my left cheek and one on my right cheek. It wasn't easy to find a body piercer who was willing to put holes into my face. Most thought I had some psychological issue, but where there's a will, there is a way. And when it was finally done, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I ran home, went to the bathroom, and brushed my teeth through one of the 2 holes while taking a selfie. Of course, I immediately sent it to my dad and said, "This is all your fault." It took him a whole day to respond, but all he said was, "You are a disgrace. Don't ever contact us again." It felt so good to make my dad angry, but it came at a great cost. I started to become more and more self-destructive, and for Christmas, I sent all my parents' neighbors a postcard with my face on it. I knew my dad cared a lot about his reputation. He wanted everyone to think we were the perfect family. But now, everyone would see the truth. This time, my dad responded by contacting the authorities and telling them I was mentally ill and needed to be locked away. But when they found me and did a psychiatric assessment, it only said I was depressed. So they couldn't lock me away into a psychiatric ward. They also did a blood test on me and found out I was hepatitis B positive. I'm sure my boyfriend gave it to me. He slept with a new girl almost every night, and when we met, we never used protection. I had always looked up to pop stars who did whatever they wanted and partied like crazy, but that life didn't make me happy. I'm still trying to get out of it, but my life is such a big mess. I don't even know where to start. And by the way, why didn't I just Photoshop the 2 holes into my face on a photo? It would have been easier, faster, and less painful. I could have still sent a Photoshopped image to my dad to make him angry. But now, my face is ruined forever. Gosh, my life is a nightmare.
why. A few years ago, I went on vacation to Thailand. My family and I just checked into our hotel. When I decided to go to the toilet, we had just been off a 10-hour flight and I was bursting. So I sat down on the toilet with my headphones on, listening to music, when I suddenly felt something pulling on my cucumber. My first reflex was to jump up and look down. I saw a big, long snake that had sunk its teeth into my cucumber. Now, before I continue telling the story, please take a look at this image of a snake's mouth. It has dozens of sharp teeth that are hook-shaped, so they can hold on to their prey. They normally only eat mice, rats, or chipmunks, but my cucumber must have looked tasty or something, and once the snake had bitten into it, it didn't let go again. I started screaming and ran out of the toilet, with the snake still holding on to my cucumber. When I saw my mom, I screamed, "Ah, help me!" But my mom just started screaming too and didn't help at all. So, in the end, I tried to pull the snake's mouth open, but this made the snake bite down even harder. And that's when it happened. My cucumber got bitten off, and the snake swallowed 4/5 of it. I knew I had to go to the hospital ASAP. But first I asked my mom to catch the snake and cut it open, so that we could later sew my cucumber back together. Unfortunately, my mom was too scared, and the snake escaped. Meanwhile, I found a taxi to get to a hospital, but the driver kept arguing how my blood was ruining his seats. I got so angry, I used my left arm to pull him out of his own taxi, while holding my cucumber with my right hand. I had never driven a car before, but it wasn't that complicated. And after 20 minutes of driving, I had found a hospital. When I ran into the lobby, I was covered in blood and screamed, "Help! Help!" When the nurses saw me, they immediately brought me into the emergency room. I still hoped that they could somehow save my cucumber, but the doctors just kept on asking me whether it was a poisonous snake or not. But, how was I supposed to know that? Well, it took 20 hours of operating on me until the doctors were able to fix my cucumber enough so that I could pee relatively normally into a toilet again. However, the doctors told me that I would never be able to make love to a woman again. And to make things worse, there were several TV crews outside my hospital room, trying to interview the boy that had lost his cucumber. Seriously? Do you think I want to tell the whole world that my cucumber was bitten off by a snake while sitting on a toilet? Well, when I finally arrived back in the US, my girlfriend was waiting for me at the airport. And, we were both raised strictly Catholic and still virgins. We had planned to have our first time after we got married, but now I had to tell her about my condition. We sat down at an ice cream cafe, and I'm not joking, but she ordered herself a banana split. I waited until she was finished eating, and then I told her the news. I told her how I had lost my cucumber on my trip to Thailand. I expected her to feel sorry for me or something, but she just said she wanted to take a look at it in the bathroom. And well, when I showed it to her, she started laughing so hard that tears were running down her face. I have to admit that her reaction completely destroyed the little confidence that I had left. After she had calmed down, I asked her if she was okay with the fact that I would never be able to make love with her. At least not in the conventional way. Luckily, she said she didn't mind. But the next day, when I asked her to go out, she said she was busy. And afterwards, she completely stopped responding to my messages. I have to tell you, it hurts to be rejected because of your body. Because of something you have no control over, and that you can't change. I felt like such a loser. I thought I would never be able to satisfy any girlfriend I had. I grew so insecure that whenever a girl started talking to me, I ended the conversation as quickly as possible. I didn't want a new girlfriend because I was scared of having to tell her about my embarrassing condition. But after 6 months, 2 guys came up to me at college. They were both laughing and asked me if a snake had really bitten off my cucumber. And I started blushing so hard that I basically admitted that it was true. It turns out that my ex got drunk at a college party and told everyone about my accident in Thailand. And from then onwards, my college called me Miss P because I had a missing, well, you know what. For the next 3 years, I basically stopped talking to girls, and instead completely focused on college. I think I wanted to get straight A's to compensate for what I was lacking, but I just grew more and more frustrated. And
Extreme Trends presents This Caterpillar Looks Innocent, but it hospitalized this 4-year-old with one touch. Before we begin, do us a favor and click that like button. Also subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to be inspired by these heartwarming stories every day. A caterpillar is a young butterfly or moth that has just hatched out of its egg. A caterpillar is a kind of larva. They have a fascinating life cycle, transforming from larva, pupa, and at last into an adult butterfly. Caterpillars usually have 3 pairs of small.
Let me fill over that. And go right without that bowl. Why is that thing so loud? No one's even playing.
Turn into beautiful butterflies. At first glance, they seem like harmless critters. In fact, some seem like little works of art found in nature. They look very delicate, but being animals, they have their own way to defend themselves from predators. And some caterpillars, such as the puss caterpillar, possess a dangerous edge. Let's see how a little kid has been affected by this. Lauren Mae Jordan, 26, a mother of 2 from Plymouth and Devon, felt horrified upon seeing what had happened to her son. It was a normal play date for her and Bo. The sun was up and everything seemed to be perfect. They used to bond with each other over their backyard. Since Lauren was familiar with their routine, she was pretty happy that Bo was experiencing the vibes of nature and their surroundings. However, something totally unexpected took place. Just after their playtime, they went inside the house to have some dinner before going to sleep. That was when Lauren suspected something unusual about her son. She didn't worry too much at first. She just thought that maybe Bo got tired of playing. So she just decided to prepare him for bed. While he was sleeping that night, he began feeling cold and extreme drowsiness. That was when he started having a fever. He got sick and his condition only worsened the next day. It was breakfast time when Lauren noticed that her boy looked extremely tired and his face looked puffy and swollen. They waited for him to go to the toilet as he hadn't been drinking any fluids. It was during that night that Lauren started to get worried. From there, she decided to rush Bo to the hospital because she started to fear that something wrong had happened. Though Bo spent hours in Derriford Hospital, he now has no memory of ever being sick. While he ended up making a recovery without treatment, Lauren was still so shaken by the experience. Lauren sought advice from the emergency doctors, who advised her to take her young son to the accident and emergency department of the hospital. Upon arriving at the emergency department, Lauren phoned the Devon doctors, and they said he may need to get a shot of antihistamines, but she still felt worried. While at the hospital, she then tried to recall everything that happened. She thought maybe Bo got a bug or something, until her son said that maybe it's from the caterpillar that hit him yesterday. That's when she remembered that Bo was on the doorstep, and he curiously picked up a caterpillar. According to Lauren, she didn't know caterpillars could do this. All she knows is that caterpillars are something that are cute and can be played with. However, it did cause some harm to her son. She believes that the caterpillar looked like the toxic oak processionary moth. The oak processionary is a moth whose caterpillars can be found in oak forests, where they feed on oak leaves, causing significant damage. They travel in nose to tail processions, often arrow-headed with a leader followed by rows of several caterpillars abreast. They are a human irritant because of their venomous setae, which can cause skin irritation and asthma. Lauren was able to get a photo of the caterpillar, but because the image is so grainy, they had trouble identifying it. Eventually, Lauren sought help from a caterpillar expert and said that due to the poor quality of the photograph, it was difficult to identify the type, but warned youngsters to keep their children away from any hairy version of the species. Steve Odkin from Wildlife Insight said some people seem to have more sensitive skin than others, particularly children. So to be on the safe side, it's always best to avoid direct skin contact with any hairy caterpillar. Whilst Bo didn't need any treatment, Lauren wanted to make sure that parents were aware of potential dangers of children picking up caterpillars. She posted her warning on Facebook. She wrote, "Parents beware. Bo got bitten/stung by a caterpillar on Friday. Then during the night he got sick while he was asleep. And during the day, he was still very sleepy and constantly being sick. Ended up at the hospital. Luckily it was minor, but it carries toxins and could have been much worse. Who knew caterpillars could do this? This will definitely be a big help to everyone that not everything that looks cute would actually not cause any harm." Lauren made an effort to spread the word to as many people as she could to prevent it from happening to other children too. Thanks for watching until the end. Be sure to tap the next videos for more unbelievable stories here on Extreme Trends. watching until the end. Be sure to tap the next videos for more Extreme Trends presents 17-year-old was paralyzed in a car crash, but just 1 month later, a miracle took place. Before we begin, do us a favor and click that like button. Also subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to be inspired by these heartwarming stories every day. Safety is a primary concern when it comes to driving, and when a teenager hopped into the car who belonged to her closest friend's mom, there was no way to know how that journey would be crucial for the teen lady. Her friend's mom was actually epileptic, and when she started to have some seizures behind the wheel, it turned out to be grim. Lacey Johnson was able to unfasten her own seatbelt to supposedly get into an appropriate position to take over the wheel from her friend's mother. However, before she could reach her hand out, the vehicle met a crashing stop, which changed Lacey's life forever. Before this tragic event happened, Lacey Johnson was just a regular 17-year-old girl who had been going through what a normal teenager experiences. In fact, she had been mourning the recent passing of her grandmother. A year before the accident took place, her grandmother took care of Lacey and her 4 other siblings. It was truly a tough time for Lacey and her family. With what happened to their grandmother and the recent accident to Lacey, it was overwhelming to her family. And what's worse is that it was still uncertain whether or not the young teen would even survive. Less than a month after the incident, one of the Johnsons' aunts described what happened on the day to ABC 13 News. The women were in the car, the driver started to seize, and the accident happened. She told the network the vehicle flipped 3 times. Lacey Johnson was transported to Memorial Hermann Texas Medical Center's Red Tube Trauma Institute in Houston. She was taken there by the Life Flight Service. Established in 1976, Life Flight ensures emergency patients are rushed away by air to receive hospital care. When she arrived, the extent of her injuries became clear. The doctors had to inform her family about how much her life was at risk. Judging from the damage her body sustained, it's highly doubtful that she would be able to recover. Johnson reportedly fractured her spine in 4 different positions. The skin on her arm was badly torn, that the bone was visible, and her liver had been left wounded as well. One of the teenager's lungs had collapsed, and most disturbingly, her skull had actually come away from her spine. With the damage her body got from the crash, she was initially only able to breathe with the assistance of special equipment. Her left side suffered from paralysis. Lacey needed to go through a number of surgical procedures. As June melted into July, Johnson was surprisingly recovering the functions of her body, but considering the severity of her injuries, as well as the subsequent paralysis, it wasn't an easy feat. And even though there was still a long way to go, Johnson's doctors expressed that things were going well. That statement came less than a month after the accident occurred. The teen, it seemed, was working hard to take back her health, but she wasn't alone. Her aunt told ABC 13 News the teenager had people around her all the way. Several weeks after Johnson's accident, a GoFundMe page was set up to raise money for the teenager and her family. After all, it wasn't just the 17-year-old herself that the incident affected. A number of her brothers and sisters were still in school, and they required care as well. As of the middle of August 2019, the GoFundMe page had raised roughly over $12,000 for Johnson and her family. Indeed, a month or so since it had been posted, the page received donations from over 200 people who were touched by Lacey's story. That same month, it seemed like the Johnsons will get a second chance at life, and all the support she'd been receiving was paying off. With the help of therapy sessions, the teenager had managed to restore the functions of her arm and leg on her left side. She was even able to walk once more. Miraculously, the teen's recovery was going well, and just under 2 months after the accident, Johnson was even chatting to the press about her situation. It seems that the teenager's speedy recovery had also restored her faith. Speaking to Mail Online, she said, "God is real, because I'm not supposed to be here right now." Johnson also updated the website about her progress in physical therapy. "I learned how to walk up and down stairs. I walked on a treadmill. That was weird," she said. "I'm mostly working on my left arm, picking stuff up and putting stuff down, and I'm just ready to go home." And it appears that the teenager's wish came true right after she spoke to Mail Online. The website suggested that she was due to be released from the hospital within a matter of days of that article's publication. But of course, going home wouldn't mean an end to the hard work required of Johnson. She wouldn't get to be in a position to rejoin her classmates at school for a while. The article suggested that she would be homeschooled for several months before returning to Houston's Cypress Ridge High. In the meantime, Johnson's family members have expressed their gratitude to all those that have helped them throughout the trying time. After all, it can't have been remotely easy. "We are just doing exactly what God gave us the responsibility of doing," the teen's aunt told ABC 13 News. "That's to take care of her and protect her." With the support of family and friends and well-wishers, Johnson has learned to walk again in a short time. Yet the accident undoubtedly changed her life, and a more complete recovery will take a lot more work. Her GoFundMe page summed up the situation. Her story is not over. It says, "She's just on to a new chapter." Thank you so much for watching until the end. Be sure to tap the next videos on your screen for another amazing story right here on extreme trends.
You guys want to know who that is? It's a loser that nobody cares about.
I know I'm looking for that.
Yeah. Huh? On what? Okay, I'll hop on.